Hey guys, I hope everybody's well. I have an interesting video for you today, not really in line with what I normally do, but I've wanted to do it for a while, so I'm just going to do it. Before I get into the video real quick, I want to say I'm almost at 200 subscribers, and I know I always say this like it doesn't seem like a lot, but to me, every subscriber I appreciate immensely. So 200 for me is crazy, considering I just kind of started this channel on a whim and thought nothing was going to ever come of it, and people actually watch and enjoy it, so I appreciate all of you. I bring this up because like I said, I'm almost at 200, and for my 100 subscriber bash, if you will, I did a live stream, which was kind of, no one really showed up because I didn't really say I was going to do it, and it was kind of like, and then I did a live stream about a month ago, and people seemed to show up and enjoy that, so this is just a little warning that I will do a live stream soon. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be the next day, but within this next few days, depending on how I'm feeling, like I said today, I will do a live stream, and I'm going to go through my entire fragrance collection for that live stream. I don't have some crazy $35,000 fragrance collection. It's pretty modest, but I figured that would be fun just to show you what I have, and we can all chat, and you can talk about what you want. So just keep an eye out, hopefully you guys can make it. I know it's not scheduled or anything, but we'll see. Okay, with that out of the way, today I'm going to do my top fragrances for each occasion, each season. You see these a lot, and I know that people really kind of dislike these kind of list videos because they're easy to do and because a lot of people like to watch them, which I guess is why a lot of people do them, because for whatever reason, you can make the best fragrance review video of all time and no one will watch it. You make a list of the top compliment getter, colognes, and everyone comes. So I kind of struggled a little bit with thinking if I was going to do this or not. But like I said in the beginning, I'm starting to repeat myself already. I said, fuck it, I'm going to do it. So these are mine. They're not the best. They're just what I like to wear. And I'm going to do seasons, and then I'm going to do a couple occasions. It's maybe a way, it's not necessarily for people who are just getting into it, although it could help, because these are just my personal preferences. Everybody's are different, totally. Maybe it's for you folks who have shitloads of colognes everywhere, and you're like, oh, I do have that one, this works. Maybe it'll help you narrow things down. I don't know, I'm just doing it. Let's get into it. I'm going to start with spring, and I have about 3 or so for each category. So for spring, my top fragrances that I like to wear, I have others I'll wear whatever, whenever, but these are my big ones. Narciso Rodriguez for him. Comes in a gray bottle if you've ever seen it before, and it has this scent that is called petrichor, which is supposed to be the smell that you get after the rain. It does smell a bit like wet pavement. It has like a wet stone kind of smell to it. There's patchouli in it, which is kind of strong. It's kind of a stronger patchouli, a slightly dirty patchouli, but I love that kind of accord, so for me it works. It's a very almost niche-like sort of fragrance that comes in a designer package and with a designer price, so I really like that one. And I have my list here. I apologize if you see me looking around. Next is Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit, you know that I love Fahrenheit. It's one of my favorite fragrances of all time. I love Fahrenheit just because of how unique it is, and it's very manly, but it has a bit of sweetness to it as well. And in the springtime, the sort of floral green notes in it, you kind of get almost like a wet grass, or sorry about that, wet grass sort of smell, or freshly cut grass, some sort of potpourri, slightly smelling incensey sort of florals from it. So I like that one in the springtime for sure. And with that cooler weather, it always works really well on my skin. And then the third one I have is L'Arôme Sport, which is more of a freshy one, sort of. But it does, for whatever reason, I don't have any with me right now, unfortunately. But that one always works really well on my skin, and it has what I always describe as sort of an orange creamsicle smell at the top, but it's fresh, and it's very handsome smelling. It's a lot lighter. It's a strong cologne, but it's a lot lighter than the other two. Okay, let's get into summer. My number one summer cologne is Sauvage. I know a lot of people probably hate Sauvage. I don't. I like Sauvage. I think it smells good. It works extremely well on my skin. I mean, it works extremely well on anyone's skin, really. The performance is amazing. I just like the way it smells, and it works really well in the summer heat. It's a very good Dom Reach cologne for me. Most people seem to like it. It's popular for a reason. I like it. Sauvage. And Acqua di Gio. Agua de Jo is the king of colognes, basically. I know a lot of people like the flankers more, but I actually don't really like Profumo that much, to be honest with you. I like the OG. I like Agua de Jo. It's light, it's fresh, it's handsome, it's very well put together. It doesn't have the greatest performance, but in the summer it's super easy for me to wear. And I'm already wearing it. I wear it all year round, but yeah, Agua de Jo. And then we have Cool Water. Cool Water is my first cologne I ever had. I love it. It has a place in my heart. It is, you know, it's fresh and masculine, has horrible performance, but it smells fantastic. And in the summer months when it's hot and you're going out and hanging out and you're outside, I don't know, it's just, you get whiffs of it and it just makes me, it really uplifts my moods. Okay, and let's get into fall, my favorite season, really, my favorite season, fall and spring. Fall, I have Burberry London. My favorite cologne of all time, really. The sweet, spicy tobacco with wine and the slight pine needle smell. It makes you feel alive in the season. That's all I can say about that one. It's perfect for the season. Then we have Fahrenheit. Again, I think Fahrenheit works very well in the fall and the spring, at least for me. In the spring, I already said why I like it, but in the fall, it's the leather and that slight weird petrol smell that comes through. Works really well in that colder air for me, and it's great in those two seasons, so that's why I like to wear it then. I love Fahrenheit. I love Fahrenheit. And then we also have La Nuit à l'Homme, which it's funny, you know, I had said before a long time ago on this channel that I really didn't like that one, but as I gave it more of a chance, I really started to enjoy it. And it just has an interesting, like, sort of woodsy, musky, spicy, sweet scent to it, and it's perfect for fall. It does a little better in the beginning of fall where it's a little bit warmer. For me, I find that when it gets colder, for whatever reason, it doesn't work as well. The performance goes out the window, but it's great to smell. Everybody likes that one. It doesn't offend anyone, and it just smells good. Okay, let's get to winter. This one was a little bit harder for me. I don't know why, because I'm trying to recollect of the colognes that I really like to wear in the winter, and I blanked out, but I have three for you. We have Happy Land Signature, which is, you know, by Happy Land Studio, E.J. Wells. I talk about that company a lot. Signature is like honeyed tobacco with some sweet blueberries and spices and like a masculine undertone to it with like a slightly musky wood. It's unbelievably good. It is one of the most beautiful gourmand scents I've ever tried. In fact, I'd say, I'm very comfortable saying it is the greatest gourmand I've ever tried in my entire life. I only have a little bit of a sample left. I need to get a full bottle of that. It is it's the 10 out of 10. I've been wearing it. I wore it yesterday. I still wear it, but in the winter, it kicks ass, man. And then we have Spice Bomb. I don't actually have the real Spice Bomb. I have a clone called Belcam, by Belcam, called Volatile, which I've reviewed before. It's a pretty decent clone. It actually is a little bit more mature than the real Spice Bomb. That one works wonderfully in the winter. It is sweeter, but it still has a great masculine undertone to it with a little bit of leather in there. So it works very well in the winter. And then I have a weird one, but I found myself wearing this a lot in the winter, and it's Kenneth Cole Intensity, which is a scent that is not super well known and not reviewed a lot, but I found it and I really like it. It's supposed to be a cologne that you wear with Kenneth Cole Reaction, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I think you use it with Kenneth Cole Reaction. It's supposed to be a layering kind of thing, like they have a couple of them, depending on what you want to do, and you're supposed to layer it with that. I found on its own it's amazing. It has like a sort of root beer, like cream soda sort of vibe at the top. It does remind me a little bit of the one by Dolce & Gabbana. It has that ambery sort of gingery freshness to it, a zingy freshness, if you will. But that one is like, for whatever reason, the winter worked really well, and I wore it a lot. And thankfully, I still have a little bit of this sample. It's actually kind of hard to find. Check that one out. It's a pretty nice scent, if not a little generic, but it's good. Okay, so that's the seasons. Sorry this is going on long, but you get what you get what you come for. Now we have a couple different occasions. I have dress up, which is like what I say when I'm going to a wedding or I need to, be feeling more dapper, if you will. And I have two. I have L'Homme, which is my go-to wedding scent. If I have to go to a wedding or somewhere where I need to feel, just be a little more dressed up. For some reason, for me, L'Homme by YSL is the ultimate wedding scent. It's so masculine and handsome smelling, with a little bit of sweetness. It's slightly soapy. that one is really good for that. And the other is Aventus, and I've said it a million times, I've never smelled the real Aventus. I'm really not in a rush to. All of the clones I've smelled have been fine. It's not my favorite scent, but it really is good for things like that. I have worn it to a wedding. I've worn Alt Fragrances Executive, which is their copy of Aventus. I've worn that to a wedding, and it just feels right, you know what I mean? Then we have Date, which is just more of like a... Date can be anything. It can be going on a date, of course, or it can be you just want to maybe be a little more flirtatious or something like that, or a cuddle-up scent, if you will. I have Amberland by Happyland Studios. It smells similar to Signature, but it has like a sort of a little bit of freshness in there. It has like a little bit of like a lavender and citrus that keep it a little fresh at the top, but then you get this luscious amber accord with very good vanilla. So that one's good. I have Cuba Prestige, which for some reason I brought down here with me. Cuba Prestige is probably my favorite Cuba cologne. And it's a copy of Angel Men by Terry Mugler. I've never actually smelled that, but this is like, at the top it's a super, and I'm speaking of this juice, not Angel Men, a super incredibly rich, delicious gourmand of like caramel and vanilla and chocolate. It is like outstanding. But then you get this weird vibe from it, like patchouli and woods, that come through very strongly. So you start to get a sweet patchouli vibe, which is definitely going to be off-putting to some people, but it's very masculine. There's even a slight bit of pepper in there. This is one of my favorite juices ever, so I'm glad I got this one. And then I have Michael Jordan Legend, which is I think it actually came before Rochat Man. They're basically the same scent. That and Bond Number 9 New Harlem. They're all kind of the same. It's just more another gourmand, vanilla, powdery chocolate kind of vibe with a little bit of a masculine sort of base, like a slight musky base, with a little bit of raspberry in there too. And Michael Jordan Legend is, to me, is very similar to Rochat Man, to the point where I've never reviewed it because they smell the same to me, really. And then I have two more, real quick. I'll try to get through these as fast as possible. My wild card scents, which are my scents that I wear when I like... They're like really hard to wear because they smell kind of... They're very strange, but it's like when I'm saying like, screw it, I'm just going to wear what I'm going to wear. Blue Fire by Happyland Studio. It smells like celery at the top. It smells powdery. It has a tea vibe. It has this freshness from gin. It is fresh, but very rich at the same time. It's a weird, really weird one. That one I like. Barbershop by Happyland as well. A lot of Happylands on here, but they're very good. That smells like shaving soap and the spices you would smell, but it has a very strong leather note, which I've just recently reviewed that, and that one can be very hard to wear because of that strong leather note, but sometimes it's what I'm craving. And the last one on this list is Fahrenheit Le Parfum, which is just a flanker of Fahrenheit, and it's a sweeter flanker. It's much more rich. It has bourbon and rum and vanilla in it. It's definitely totally for the winter. It is like very heavy, but it's like Fahrenheit is kind of off-putting to some people as is, and then when you add a dose of sweetness to it, it can become even harder to pull off, so that's why I put it there. And then just two more really quick, just my rainy day scents. You know, when I love the rain. I love gray rainy days personally, so that I have to, sometimes I like to wear scents that match that feeling. Narciso Rodriguez for him, we've already discussed that, but that's the ultimate rainy day scent in my opinion. It can't get better than that. And then the last one is Calvin Klein Eternity, which is kind of like lavender and vetiver with some florals. It's a nice, handsome, you know, masculine, well-dressed scent, slightly soapy, and that one just works because it just works. I don't know why. I don't actually have any more of that. I have Cubic Gray, which I'll get to a review of that, which is a pretty decent, what would you call it, pretty decent clone. So, sorry this was so long, but I've always wanted to do this kind of video, so that's the video. The end. That's all of them. I hope that this helped. Let me know what you like, because, you know, it's all totally subjective, like I said. I hope you guys look forward to this live stream. Like I said, it'll be pretty soon. Maybe tonight. I'm on the Eastern time. Maybe like 11 or 12 Eastern time. Midnight, that is. But I don't know. Maybe it'll be tomorrow or the next day. But I hope that you guys can jump in, and I'll show you all the clones I have. That's all. Let me know what you've been wearing and how you've been doing. I hope everybody's well. Peace out.